Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, it's Mr. Collins again with some homework help. Let's get to her, shall we? So we have this homework for today. Now, today was crazy, because you had these systems you were trying to solve, but I'll be honest, you don't really have a good way to do it. I mean, you're basically still guessing and checking. You're still just kind of thinking about numbers, which is an okay way to do it, but it's not really the easiest way to do it. So don't worry, help is coming. We're going to be changing and refining our method as... Oh, wait, get out of here, Windows. We're going to be changing our methods as we go. So, but this is a really important step in this process, because it helps you really kind of solidify and put into practice what we know about systems, which is you have to solve both at the same time. You have to meet two conditions. So there is kind of a nice way to do this, though. I mean, we can kind of pick and choose where we want to start and how we want to work these. Here's what I mean. So we need to pick two numbers, x and y, so they add to make 17 and they subtract to make 7. Well, this tells me that we can't get crazy with our number choices. Like, we have to be fairly close together. Oh, excuse me. So when I start picking out numbers that make 17, I know that they can't be super far apart or super close. In fact, this tells me that they got to be 7 apart. So I'm going to start picking numbers that I think might work that are kind of about 7-ish numbers apart. And this is pure guess and check, guys. So I'm going to make an ordered list here. I'll make a table, in other words. So this is going to be my x, this is going to be my y, and this is going to be their difference. This is going to be for the second condition, because I'm not going to pick an x and y value that doesn't actually add to 17. Here's what I mean. So what if I pick x to be, I don't know, 10, and I'm going to pick y to be 7, because that makes 17. Well, their difference is 3. Now I'm going to keep the x bigger than the y, because x is going to be subtracted, or y is going to be subtracted from x and stay positive, so the x has got to be bigger. But right now I know these are actually still too close together, so what I'm going to do is try to separate them a little bit. Here's what I'm going to do that. I'm going to make that a 9. So to make it a 17, this has got to be an 8. So that makes a difference of 1. Well, that didn't actually work, because I wanted the numbers to get farther apart. I made them closer together. So let's go the other direction. Let's make that an 11, and let's make that a 6. Well, this is better. The difference is 5, not 7, but we're getting closer. We have 3 away, we have 5 away. What if I go up one more value, make that a 12, and I make this one a 5? 12 plus 5 is 17, but we'll look at this. 12 minus 5, lo and behold, is 7. So the answer we're looking for is x equals 12 and y equals 5. Now we can check that, because we have two equations that have to be true. The x plus y equals 17. In other words, a 12 plus 5 equals 17. 17 is 17. It works. And then we can also check the second condition. The x minus y is 7. In other words, a 12 minus 5 is 7. 7 is 7. So we checked it, we confirmed it, but the whole point is we have to always be checking for two constraints. We have to be checking for the first equation and the second equation to be true at the same time. Alright, let's check out this one. Whoa, lots of stuff going on here. So we have, again, some constraints in this system. Again, we're going to kind of be logical in our choice of which one to attack first. I'm going to go ahead and pick numbers that fit this one, and then I'm going to check this one. So I'm going to set up an order list again, because I'm not Superman here. I have to actually do the work. So this is going to be the 2x plus 2y equals 36. So I'm going to check if that actually does that. So again, I'm going to pick numbers for x and y that subtract and make 6, and I don't actually know what the answer is. I'm just gonna have to guess and check, really, just like you guys have to guess and check. But again, I'm gonna do it in a very ordered way that makes sense to me, and I'm gonna be writing a lot of stuff down. Okay, so when I'm choosing numbers, like, again, I know that they have to subtract and make 6, so I'm not gonna choose numbers that are crazy close together or crazy far apart. I'm gonna make this pretty logical. So I'm just gonna start with like a 10. Well, 10 and 4. So if I take 4 away from 10, that does make 6. So I know it's going to fit my first constraint. Now I have to check my second one. If I double this one and get 20, I double this one and get 8, my total is 28. Well, that's no good, because I need a 36. So let's change the numbers a little bit. Let's go up to 11. So if I go make this one bump up to 11, I got to make this one bump up to 5. That's the only way I can get 6, right? Because 11 minus 5 is 6. So now let's check constraint number 2. If I double the x and I double the y and I add them together, so that's going to be 22 plus 10. And Diane again needs to get to the office. So if I double 11, which that's what this says to do, and I double y, which is what this says to do, and add them together, I should get 36, but I don't. I get 32, which means this isn't an answer set either. But I'm getting closer. Look, 28, 32. If I'm right, this one should be 36. So let's go up another number. That's 12, which means I got to make that one a 6. So 12 minus 6 is 6. If it's my first constraint, let's check constraint number 2. If I double the x and get 24, and I double the y and get 12, 24 plus 12 is 36. This is my winner chicken dinner. That's going to be my answer. I'm looking at a 12. I'm looking at a 6 for my answers. Now, again, we can check our work. We'll check the first constraint first. That's going to be this one. The second constraint second. That's a 2x. Plus the 2y is equal to 36. So let's check it out. X minus y, that's going to be a 12 minus 6, is equal to 6. That's going to work out. 6 is equal to 6. Now we have this one. We have the 2 and the 12 plus a 2 and the 6 is equal to 36. Now we did this in our head. We did it out loud. Let's check to make sure it works. That's going to be a 24. That's going to be a 12. Add them together, and look at that. It's going to make 36. Okay, so we always want to check our work when we're done. That works, that works. So 12 and 26 are solutions. Okay, so there is no magic bullet here, guys. It really isn't. What we have to do is just kind of be logical in our guessing and our starting points and our adjuster table from there. I would strongly suggest, just like we did in class today, that we make our guesses very orderly. We use as much logic as we can so we're not writing forever. Okay, let's check out these guys. Now these are like super problems. Like this is asking you to do everything. The super problem. Let's do this. We got to choose variables, write a system, and then we got to solve it. Let's get to choosing variables. Man, do I love x and y. So that's what I'm going to use. So I'm going to let x be number of bikes. And I'm going to let y be number of trikes. Because that's what we're being asked to find. In fact, it says it right here. How many bicycles and how many tricycles are actually in the garage? Okay, so x is the number of bikes, y is the number of trikes. Let's write some equations to represent this situation. To do that, we're going to have to pick out some constraints, some rules to follow. So here's a rule right here. We have to have 20 bicycles and tricycles. And here's another. We got to have 44 wheels. So it doesn't really matter which one we write first. So I'm just going to go ahead and write the 20 bicycles and tricycles constraint first. So I'm trying to hit this level of 20. Well, I'm going to do it by taking the number of bikes and adding the number of trikes. That's x plus y equals 20. The 44 wheels is a little more complicated because we have to think about how many wheels are actually involved. That's what I was saying in the last video about how you can't disregard part of the problem. You got to consider it all. So if I have x number of bikes, I'm pretty sure they have 2 wheels each, so 2x. And trikes have 3 wheels each, plus 3y is equal to 44. So that's going to be the system that we're being asked to solve. So now what we have to do is actually go about solving this. I'm not going to go crazy here. I'm going to go ahead and make a table, make a nice orderly kind of approach to this. And so we have to kind of pick out the constraint we're using in the table and then pick out the constraint we're going to check in our table. Well, obviously this is an easier constraint to check. The x plus y is 20. I can think of numbers quite easily that add to 20. What I can't do is think of numbers in my head that take that 2x plus the 3y make the 44, and that's the one I'm going to check down below. Here's what I mean. Let's start right in the most logical place. Let's just try 10 and 10, because 10 and 10 make 20. Well, if I have 10 bicycles, that's 20 wheels, and I have 10 tricycles, well, that's going to be 30 wheels, and that's a total of 50 wheels. Now, that's no good because I needed 44. So where do I go from here? I need to make some adjustments. Well, let's be smart about this, okay? I need to go down number of wheels. If I take away one, I might have to add the other, so let's kind of consider how that's going to play out. If I take away a trike, that's going to take away 3 wheels. But if I take away a trike, I'm going to have to add a bike, which adds 2 wheels, but I still overall lose 1 wheel. So what I think I really need to do here is reduce the number of tricycles I have. So I'm going to go down. In fact, I'm going to go down a little more dramatically. I'm going to go down to 8 tricycles, which means I got to go up to 12 bikes. So let's check this in to see if it actually worked the way I thought it would work. So 12 bikes at 2 wheels each make 24 wheels. 8 tricycles at 3 wheels each also make 24 wheels. 24 plus 24 makes 48. Now I'm closer. I'm closer because I went down overall wheels, but I'm not at 44 yet. So again, I got to go down some more. Now some of you might see exactly how to get this or how many to go down. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go step by step. So I'm going to go down to 6, which makes this actually go up to 14. Let's check it again. 14 bikes at 2 wheels each make 28. 6 tricycles at 3 each, make 18. So that's going to be 20, 30, 46. Now, you've probably seen this jump down 2 each time. So although this is too many wheels, I bet you guys already figured out that 4 is going to probably produce the right answer. 4 trikes make 16 bikes. 16 bikes at 2 wheels each make 32 wheels. And then 4 at 3 wheels each make 12. excuse me, I'm back. So make 12, so 32 plus 12, well, it's definitely 44, and that's what we're looking for. So my answer in the end is x needs to be 16, and y needs to be 4. Or if you want to write it out, that's 16 bikes and 4 trikes. It's not an easy process by any stretch of the imagination, but one you guys can definitely do. And you probably should be asking yourself, man, isn't there a better way to do this? Oh, yes there is, and it's coming soon. Okay, so there are 24 questions on the test. Each question is worth either 4 points or 5 points. The total number of points is 100. How many each type of question are on the test? Well, let's start by initializing your variables. So I see two things, two types of questions. So I'm going to say x is 4 points questions, and I'm going to say y is 5-point questions. Okay, so in terms of variables, well, let's find our constraints. The total number of points is 100, and there are 24 questions on the test. So let's start with the 24. So 24 total questions, well, there's only 4-point questions and 5-point questions, and together they get 24. The second constraint needs to total 100 points. So if I have 4 points per question and 5 points per question, that should make 100 points. So again, we're not going to go crazy here. We're going to really just kind of hone in on our good problem solving skills and try to kind of guess numbers that make 24 and then kind of check the ones that make sure they add to 100 points. So we're going to go back to our table here. Okay, so we have this table. We'll choose x's and y's so they make 24. That's what this part is. So we're going to check that against 24, and then we'll check to see that 4x plus 5y is equal to 100. Okay, so we'll just start throwing out guesses. I mean, I don't know what the answer is. Like, yeah, again, I'm kind of in the same boat you guys are. So we have to kind of decide is where are we going to start to make 24. I mean, there's lots of places we can start, guys, but look how far apart those numbers are. We have two numbers to add together to make 24. So I'm just going to kind of, I don't know, I'm just going to pick a number. Let's say like 16. So there are 16 4-point questions. How many 5-point questions will there be? Well, I'm trying to make 24, guys. So it's got to be an 8. Okay? So here's the interesting part. We got to check this to make sure that this totals 100 points. 16 times 4. Here, let me pause this. I'm going to grab and we're back. So 4 times 16. So 4 multiplied by your 16. That's going to equal 64. 5 times 8, so 8 times 5 points each is going to give you 40 points. So that's going to end up being, let's see, 104 points. That's too much. We needed 100 points, we end up at 104 points. So we need to reduce the number of points overall. So since y's are worth more, my idea is why not reduce those? I mean, why not go down those values? So I'm going to drop this down to 7 5-point questions, which is really going to increase this to 7, because 17 and 7 is going to be 24. Let's check to see how many points that's worth. So I have 17 times 4 is 68. Okay? 7 times 5 is going to give me a 35. So I'm looking at 90, let's see, 90, 100... So 8 times 5 is 13. Carry the 1 would be 103. Okay? So I did manage to reduce the number of points, but guys, it wasn't very dramatic. I need to make it down to 100. But you can kind of see a pattern how this is really kind of emerging. So if I'm right about this, if I drop this down to 6 and increase this to 18, this should end up being 102. Let's check it. So we're dealing with 18 times 4. That's going to be 72. Okay. 5 times 6 is 30. So 30 times 7, or 30 plus 72 would be 102. So this is going to work in our favor. So make this 5, make this 17. This should be 101. We're very close. Make this 4, make this 16. That's going to be 100. So we can check that. 16 times 4 equals 64. Oh, you know what, guys? I just made a mistake. Did you guys catch that? I didn't catch that. I need to go back. I started losing my mind. I got distracted. Mr. Johnson just walked by, and I got totally distracted, and I had to redo this part. Anyway, so we saw this pattern. This is going to be 101. So that's going to be 5. That's going to be going up to 19. Let's go 4. This is going to be up to 20 to make 24. That should be 100. Okay, so let's go. 20 times 4 should be 80. 4 times 5 should be 20. That's going to be 100. Okay, so that's going to be my answer, 20 and 4. Now, sorry about that, guys. Hopefully you guys caught that mistake. I had to go back and fix it. But yeah, we are dealing with X and Y being 20 and 4. In other words, there should be 20 4-point questions, and there should be 4 5-point questions. Okay, so sorry about the little mess up at the end, but again, that's kind of why a table is so useful. In fact, I'm kind of happy I did mess up, because that demonstrates very clearly why a table is so useful in this problem-solving kind of technique, because even if you do make a mistake, it's really easy to see what mistake you made. I started counting down instead of up, and it was really obvious when I hit 16 again. I shouldn't have hit that. I should have been going up. So something to keep in mind, kind of looking forward to the future. So I hope this helped, guys. Hope the little mess up at the end didn't help mess you up, guys, too much. If this helped, why don't you tell people it's helping you, and maybe they can get on the bandwagon too. Thank you guys so much for watching this and doing your homework and working hard. I will see you tomorrow.